Peace to everybody. This is about Jussie Smollett seeks to derail special prosecutor who might refile charges against him. So there is a 50-50 chance that the prosecutor might refile charges against Jussie Smollett. And of course, in the picture here is Jussie Smollett. I do believe he's in the court in Chicago on March 14th of this year. Former Empire star and self-described hate crime victim Jussie Smollett went back to court Friday seeking to protect himself and Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx from being investigated by a special prosecutor. So Jussie Smollett went back to court today. He is seeking to protect himself. He does not want nobody in his private business whatsoever. And he also wants to protect himself against Kim Foxx as well, and from being investigated by a special prosecutor. Tina Gladian, one of Smollett's team of Los Angeles lawyers, filed a series of motions in Cook County, including a lengthy brief seeking to overturn a judge's order last month, appointing a special prosecutor to investigate the March decision by Fox's office to drop 16 felony charges against Smollett. He had been accused of disorderly conduct for filing false police reports about being the victim of a hate crime. So Tina Gladian is one of Smollett's lawyer teams, and she has filed a series of motions in Cook County including a lengthy brief seeking to overturn a judge's order that was made last month to unseal his records and give everybody, all the lawyers to see what else was on the charge. And of course, Jussie Smollett is not going to take it anymore because they're saying, oh well, he made up a police report that's not true because the Chicago Police Department is corrupted. And they tell more lies than anything, because when the Chicago Police Department file out reports, they lie on their police reports instead of the truth. The documents made clear that Smollett, 37, is still proclaiming his innocence and exoneration. He wasn't exonerated. He was just not prosecuted. Smollett continues to blame two Chicago brothers, his former personal trainers, for attacking him and then lying to avoid prosecution by telling police Smollett himself staged the attack. So now, Jussie Smollett is 37 years old, and he's still maintaining his innocence because with these lies that the Chicago Police Department had done, and they're saying that by telling the police Smollett himself staged the attack. Not true. If you got two people coming at you, why would you stage your own attack in hate crime? That doesn't make sense. And of course, the two Chicago brothers, they're the ones that did it. This case has been a travesty of justice and an unprecedented deprivation of Mr. Smollett's constitutional rights, including the presumption of innocence and the right to a fair trial, Gladian's brief asserts. And so Jussie Smollett does have a right to a fair trial. Of course he does. He does have that right. But the judge is trying to say, oh no, or the police, are trying to say, oh no, he staged his own attack. He staged his own hate crime. Not true, because the police were not there to see it happen. She said Cook County Judge Michael Tuman, who ruled that Fox has mishandled the Smollett case and appointed a special prosecutor to investigate her and possibly refile charges against Smollett, inappropriately accepted false media reports to presume that Smollett was guilty of the charges in making his decision. And so you got this Judge Michael Tuman who ruled that Fox has mishandled the Smollett case. Now, how can Kim Foxx mishandle anything if she recused herself from the case because she was talking to one of Jussie Smollett's family members by text message and email. Where is all that evidence at? Of course, Kim Foxx has got the evidence right there for the chatter between one of Smollett's family members and her. That's why she recused herself. And of course, here's Kim Foxx herself. That was February 23rd, 2019. Smollett is seeking to have that decision reconsidered on the grounds that the judge had no authority to unilaterally reverse the dismissal of the case against him and then go on to appoint a special prosecutor to potentially further prosecute Smollett. So Smollett is seeking to have that decision reconsidered because, when you drop the charges, you're not supposed to refile them because the records were sealed, but then of course the judge had unsealed them last month, and Jussie Smollett doesn't want his case to be reopened. That's why he's seeking for it to get it overturned. If Smollett is successful in intervening in nullifying the judge's order, it could help Foxx, who also is opposed to being investigated by a special prosecutor over the Smollett case. And so Foxx is also against it too. She doesn't want no special prosecutor at all on her or Jussie Smollett. Foxx and her office are already under investigation by the Cook County Inspector General's office. Another embarrassing probe could be inconvenient, just as she and her prosecutors are preparing to try another celebrity, singer R. Kelly, on multiple sex crime charges. Yeah, so Kim Foxx is going to be, her case is with R. Kelly as also because he has multiple sex crime charges. That's more than what Jussie Smollett has. Except Jussie Smollett has a hate crime against him, plus disorderly conduct and making false police reports. Now, come on. Now, who's worse? It's R. Kelly who's the worst one of all. Why go after Jussie Smollett for? And of course, Foxx and her office are already under investigation by the Cook County Inspector General's office, which I don't know why they're doing that for, but they're doing it. The bottom line is that the Smollett scandal is not over, and the legal battles is spawned in Chicago continue to roil the city's judicial system. So the bottom line is that the Smollett scandal is not over. So wait a minute. This whole thing was made up? No, it wasn't, because Jussie Smollett made police reports. The body cameras, they were released to show that Jussie Smollett had a rope around his neck. And he told the police that he had bleach poured on him. So that's what happened. And of course, there was two guys that attacked Jussie Smollett on that late winter night on January 29th. In late January, Smollett claimed he was attacked in downtown Chicago in the middle of the night by two masked men who used racist and homophobic slurs, tied a noose around his neck, and poured bleach on him. In March, Chicago police arrested and detained two men, Abimbola A. Bel Osandario and Ola Benjo Ola Osandario, in connection with Smollett's report. So the police arrested those two because Jussie Smollett said that they were using racist and homophobic slurs, tied a noose around his neck, and poured bleach on him. And of course, these two are the Osandario brothers that allegedly attacked Jussie Smollett. 2 days later, police reversed their previous declarations that Smollett was a victim and declared he had hired the Osandario brothers his personal trainers to stage the attack to help promote his career and prompt a salary increase. Smollett pleaded not guilty to a 16-count indictment. Yeah, so the police are trying to say he did it to himself. Now, if you're attacked by somebody, you're going to sit there and make out a whole bunch of police reports instead of saying, oh, well, I state. No, that's not true at all. It's a lie. The police department, they write up their reports to hide all the truth so they don't get in trouble, because the police have a habit of lying, saying, oh, I fear for my life. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's why Jason Van Dyke is in jail now for shooting Laquan McDonald 16 times, huh? Yeah, I have that video, all the videos of Laquan McDonald on my main channel. So if you want to go check them, go right ahead. 9 days later, Fox's office, she had recused herself due to contact with his family, she said, announced the charges were being dropped and he would pay a $10,000 fine. Prosecutors argued the outcome was consistent with how such cases are typically handled. Yeah, so all Jussie Smollett did, he had a bail of $10,000, but he forfeited to the city of Chicago, did 2 days worth of community service, and that was only fair. And now, 9 days later, Fox's office, she has recused herself because of her being in contact with one of his family members, and prosecutors argued the outcome was consistent with how such cases are typically handled. So it all depends how the case is handled. Police unions, state prosecutors, media pundits, and scores of citizens erupt in Chicago, directed against Fox and Smollett. Soon a former state appellate judge, Sheila O'Brien, was writing op-ed columns and filing motions calling for a special prosecutor to investigate Fox. That led to hearings and a decision by Judge Tooman on June 21st. So you got a Judge Sheila O'Brien was writing up the columns and filing motions for a special prosecutor. And of course, you know, Jussie Smollett doesn't want no special prosecutor, and neither does Kim Fox. They don't want no special prosecutor to investigate them. Gladian argues the judge erred in interpreting the law involved. She also works to deconstruct the police evidence against Smollett, pointing out instances where they either lied or misspoke. And I say the police lied, because you know how those two, when it comes to Chief of Police Eddie Johnson, and of course the former mayor of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel, they were lying their butts off. And of course, you know, Rahm Emanuel is no longer the mayor of Chicago anymore. So now you got Eddie Johnson. They need to get rid of him, because they don't want to believe that Jussie Smollett was attacked. And she heaped scorn on the Sandario brothers. At one point during the Smollett investigation, they issued a statement claiming they were not homophobic. Gladian argues they lied, citing text messages only a few weeks before the Smollett encounter that demonstrate a strong homophobic sentiment by both brothers, because they referred to a gay man as a fruit. So yes, the Sandario brothers at one point during this, Gladian argues they lied. Yes, they did lie, the Sandario brothers. They were citing text message only a few weeks before the Smollett encounter, of course, and demonstrate a strong homophobic sentiment by both brothers, and they referred to a gay man as a fruit. Come on, that's not, you know, I tell you this, Sandario brothers, man, they are liars for real. And of course, here is the video. I'm not going to play it, but here's Jussie Smollett along with other people with him. Other than the Sandario brothers' self-serving statements, which resulted in their release, from custody with no criminal charges filed against them. Not a single piece of evidence independently corroborates their claim that the attack was a hoax, Glandian argued. Moreover, the actual evidence demonstrates that the Unsandario brothers lied to police and were acting with at least one other person who was not Mr. Smollett. So, yep, there we go. Of course, they lied. And they're not going to get away with it, the Sandario brothers. They have self-serving statements which resulted in their release from custody with no criminal charges against them. And they should have had criminal charges against them, but no, they just let them walk. This is what I mean. Chicago Police Department, they suck. Sorry to say, but it is true. And of course, the police, they don't want to hear the truth because they only hear the lies, because that's what they go by, is the lies. And of course, the judges, they're always siding with the DA, saying, oh, well, da-da-da-da. Well, you know what? Not this time, because, they're not going to get away with it. There was no immediate response from Gloria Schmidt, the Chicago lawyer for the Sandario brothers. In April, the brothers filed a federal lawsuit against Smollett's legal team, including Glandian, accusing the lawyers of defaming them. You can't, what's Sandario brothers? What? They're just two idiots that been lying the whole time, and they filed federal lawsuits against Smollett's legal team. Come on. If anything, Smollett should be filing lawsuits against them. Meanwhile, Smollett is being sued by the city of Chicago, seeking to force him to fork over a fine of up to $390,000 for police overtime in the investigation of the case. Smollett, who has vowed not to pay a dime, is seeking to move the suit to federal court, arguing that federal court is the proper venue because the actor is a California resident. So, Jussie Smollett is a California resident. I guess he must have moved to Chicago a long time ago or something. I don't know. But the city of Chicago wants him to fork over fine up to $390,000. There is no way that Jussie Smollett is going to pay for that, give them that kind of money. And of course, not to pay a dime, is seeking to move the suit to federal court. So that's what Smollett is trying to do, is move it to the federal court. Smollett is no longer a star in Empire. He was dropped from the final 2 episodes of the show last spring, and creator Lee Daniels has said he will not return for the show's final seasons. Yeah, so Jussie Smollett has been dropped from Empire because of Lee Daniels, and has said he will not return for the show's final season. So I don't know where Jussie Smollett is going to be at, and when with all this mess going on. So it's just terrible. The Sandario brothers have lied their butts off totally, and they cannot be trusted either. Neither can the Chicago police. They are liars too. The Chicago Tribune, they're liars. They twist words around. This is why all this is a distraction, because of what is going on. Jussie Smollett is innocent, and I am on his side. I don't care what anybody says at all. Leave your comments below. I am out.